step set or is thrown or whatever. Anything that you have to this week overcome, anything that you personally inside on the inside of you have to overcome. I want you to be able to. I want you to feel as though you are able to do that. Um, Thank you all for being here. As you come in, if you are on YouTube, if you can give this podcast or this live stream, it is a podcast. If you can give this live stream a thumbs up, I would greatly appreciate it. You could also subscribe if you are on YouTube. You can subscribe if you're on Twitch too, but you could just give me a follow. That's all. Share it with all of your friends, with everybody. Just tell them to come have a good conversation. Anywho, like always, all of the conversations start with me. And so I was like, this past week I had to overcome a lot. I had to reflect on a lot of things that happened this week. And as I reflected, I was like, oh my God, I have grown so much in this new season of my life. Um, I have allotted myself space to acknowledge, acknowledge growth, acknowledge change, acknowledge just overall pure happiness, just pure happiness. There's a level of peace that I have right now. I still have yet to find the right words to explain how it feels, but it's just a level of, I hope everybody, is my hope that everybody gets to that level of peace where, you've cleaned out you throw stuff in the back of your mind where you're able to clean all of that out and you're just able to live. You're able to think, breathe, eat, sleep, life, and it is just more abundant for you. So this week I was reflecting. I was talking to my younger brother, and he asked me, he said, "Are you okay?" And I was like, that's not weird, but I was like, that's strange. What do you mean, am I okay? He was like, well, I've never seen you at the point where you don't have excess of. And I was like, you know what's crazy? Because I have come to realize, this is something I've come to realize. I gave myself permission to acknowledge this. I've come to realize that every time I get ready to step up to a higher level, a step up to um, a greater sense of self awareness, there's always a level of accomplishment. So when I got into this season, like if you be alive long enough, or if you experience a lot of things in your life, you will start paying attention. Well, I hope that you will start paying attention to the processes of how things work. So I kind of understand that when I get ready to go to that next level of awareness, spirituality, um, I get in a situation where it's like my finances are like not overflowing. My finances all the time are always overflowing, but my finances aren't overflowing. And I know previous until now, I would panic or I have anxiety of like, okay, I can't pay this, I can't do that. So I would have real bad anxiety, and then I would just try to like I would lower my prices so that I can work with people, or I would give a huge discount. And so this time, this time, when I got into that situation, I paused and I was like, oh my God, I am so grown because I am not freaking out right now. And I said, instead of lowering my prices, instead of giving a huge discount, I actually raised my prices. I'm going to tell y'all, this is the most craziest thing to me. I actually raised my prices, and I actually like stood 10 tones down on everything that I believed. Like I got to this point because I put in a hard work. And I've had the most amazing time ever. I have not gone hungry. My vehicle has had gas. All of my bills are taken care of. And I was just sitting here like, oh my God, I could literally look back over there and say, I remember a time I would freak out. Like I would be so sad and I would just, oh, I got to figure it out, got to figure it out. But now I'm just calm. I'm just cool. I'm just like, oh, I know what time it is. I know what time it is. I'm about to go. So I said I need to give myself permission to rest in this season. Because um, I when I came into ending July, coming into August, I felt a sense of urgency. Not like I had to hurry up and do something, but it was like I felt a sense of, you know what you need to do. It is time for you to do it. And so I felt that, and I was like, okay, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're telling me. I need to figure out what is keeping me. Like, you have an assignment due on September the 1st, and it is August the 20th, and you still haven't done that assignment yet. What is keeping you from doing that assignment? That's what I had to ask myself. What is keeping me from bossing up? What is keeping me from getting to that next level? And I realized that it was fear. And all of this time I've been talking about no more fear, no failure. I've been saying this. I've been speaking it out loud because I realize that when I speak things out loud, it helps me. It helps me to process. So I'm like, no fear, no fear. And I was like, what? Where is this fear coming from? I'm not afraid of anything. Like, really, I'm not afraid of anything. But then I realized that I had a fear of success. I had a fear of success. And it sounds really crazy to say that I was afraid to be successful, but I already knew. Like, I was afraid to be successful, but I already knew my entire life that I was going to be successful. That is the most craziest thing for me. So I had to give myself permission to say, hey, you are qualified, you are talented, you have the skills and the capabilities. It is time for you to stop downplaying all of those things and walk in your greatness. It's something when you can look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself that you just feel like, yeah, I could do anything. And then after you say that, you get presented with a situation where it's like, are you going to put your money where your mouth is, or are you going to go back and run over there? And I began to think to myself, like, I've been counting down. Like, a couple of weeks ago, I was like, we have 5 months. And I was like, we got 4 months and 2 weeks. By the end of December, the last day of 2023, I'm going to have accomplished pretty much everything I set on those things. I'm going to have accomplished those things. I did so much in this last week, and this next week is going to be even more crazier. I said, I don't. I had the thing, you heard, oh, I want to be booked and busy. So I was like, oh, that sounds dope. I want to be booked and busy. I want to be working. I want to. And then I started being booked and busy, and I was like, hold on, wait a minute. I spoke too fast. I need time to sleep. I need time to rest. I need time to spend time with my family. Because for me, it's important for me to spend time with my family. That's a huge thing, especially having survived a global fucking pandemic and I couldn't spend time with them. It's important for me, especially that I have younger nieces and nephews. It's important for me to spend time with family because, after all, they are the next generation. Like, when I am no longer here, I will pass along all of my information and everything that I have to them. So for me, it's making sure that we are all good. And once I understand that we are all good, hey, because what I know, if I could share the wisdoms that I know, share my experiences, that's why I come and I talk about my experiences, because I want you to know you're not alone. A lot of people have gone through the same things you have. A lot of people have gone through similar things that you have. It's just that people don't talk about it. Some people don't talk about it out of fear of being judged. Some people don't talk about it because it was a really traumatic situation. For me, traumatic. And once I got to the other side of it, I was like, oh, I'm telling everybody. I want to tell everybody. Because what I realized, this is why I have the whole Nurturing Conversation podcast, is we don't talk about shit that we supposed to talk about. We'll gossip about everybody and everything, and we'll do all of that. But when we need to have those real life conversations, we have this thing where it's like, oh, they know. You know I love you, right? But how do a person know that you love them? Because you buy them food, because you buy them clothes, or are you actually taking the time to ask people, hey, how are you doing? What is going on in your mind? How is this week going for you? How has school been? I asked my niece that. I realized my nephews don't call me at all. Well, one of them does, but my other nephews, they're little, but they don't call me at all. But when they see me, it's like, oh my God, TT. But my nieces just call me and they just sit on the phone and they're fine, just knowing that I'm sitting, that I'm on the other end of the phone. And so I'm talking to them. How's school? School is great. And then they, like my niece, she plays basketball, and so I am one hell of a shooting guard. So I was telling her, different, things she could do in to find her spot and how she'll know if it's her spot. Like, you got to teach kids. Like, you'll know. I could show you how to dribble through your legs and all of that, but it's more about feeling. Like, if you go to a spot and it say, hey, pull up, shoot, but you got to be confident. This is something that I realized on my journey too. You got to be confident when you do those things. Like, I'm so confident in this Nurture Conversation podcast because I've been wanting to do this for so long, but I was stopping myself. And then one day I woke up, I was like, you've been having this idea for so long, and you are no longer going to sit by and just watch. You're not going to watch this podcast. You're not going to watch that podcast. You're going to get up off your ass and you're going to sit in front of that mic that you pay for. You're going to turn them lights on that you pay for. All of this stuff. You said, oh, I need lights, I need a mic, I need this, I need that, and then I'm gonna start my podcast. And then, did you know that I got all of those things and I set for a full year before I started this podcast? A full year. Had all of this stuff. Just wasn't using it because I was afraid. What was I afraid of? I wasn't afraid of y'all. I wasn't afraid of people actually listening to the podcast. I was afraid of me. I had internal struggles that was going on. I was like, "Oh my God, who's going to listen to me? Why would people want to come and have a nurturing conversation with me?" That was my thing. It wasn't you. It wasn't, I didn't have the resources. It was me getting over my own shit. And so when I started to like, okay, let me figure out. So I just was like, let me test the waters, and I'm going to call it the Sunday night dinner and convo. And it was, it was picking up traction. And I was like, okay, it's time. It's time to put a name on it. It's time to put that stamp on it. And I've named it the Nurturing Conversation Podcast, and I've been talking ever since. I had to give myself permission. It's okay to be afraid. It's okay to be afraid. It's also okay to acknowledge the fear, where the fear comes from, and to uproot it. Because as long as you are afraid, I told someone, I said, I operated in fear. In the last year of my life, I operated in fear. And that's not like, oh, I was like shaking, but every time I felt that thing that was like, oh, no, you can't do it, or like, oh, why? That made me want to do it even more. I got 2 podcasts now. I started live streaming on multiple platforms. That's where I came up with the idea for the bi-monthly concert series. Working on a documentary. It's like so many different things that I want to do. I have music that I'm releasing. It's so many things that I wanted to do, but I allowed fear to stop me. And now it's just like I'm going to work on everything. And once I release it, it's giving me room to go on to something else. You ever like, oh, I got so many clothes in my closet, but I want to have, like, it's about to switch from summer to fall. And so now you got to take out all your summer clothes and start getting fall. But you can't because your closet's too full. You got to give yourself permission to let go. Let go of those summer clothes. Some of those summer clothes still got tags that we ain't even wore yet. Some of us. So I said, I need to give myself permission to acknowledge the fact that I have grown. Because before, I never would celebrate any of my wins. I never would like talk about anything that I had accomplished. It just happened, and then I was on to the next one. But now it's like, no, I need to talk about them. Because when I set this week, I set, and I had a radio interview. Actually got a couple of radio interviews to talk about my concert series, but I had a newspaper interview. And so when I'm talking about myself, I realized previous to now, when I would talk about myself, I felt so uncomfortable. I felt uncomfortable talking about my accomplishments. I felt uncomfortable saying, hey, yeah, I made history 2 times in 1 year. Like, I felt uncomfortable saying that. And so I took the last couple of weeks and I was like, I need to sit down and acknowledge everything that is going on the inside of me, because these last 5 months, these last 5 months, I'm about to show out so hard. And I don't mean like, ooh, I'm gonna be like, look at me, but I'm about to show out for myself. You know those things like when you were a teenager, you was like, yeah, by the time I'm 25, I'm gonna have this business, I'm gonna have this trucking, I'm gonna have, you had all these plans, and now you like 26, 27. And I was like, well, I didn't accomplish what I set out to do. Well, let me go over here and get this job so at least I'll have some money. No, 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 no. In 2023, having survived a global fucking pandemic, I'm giving myself permission to move past fear. Ain't no more fear. Ain't no more fear. There is no more fear. And I'm not saying that there aren't things that you should be afraid of. What I'm saying is no more fear. Fear will no longer keep us captive in a state that we are in. If you want to start a YouTube, if you want to start a trucking business, you want to write a book, whatever it is that you want to do, now is the perfect time to do it. Don't put it off until 2024, because we don't, the way the world works right now, we don't know. Start today. I gave myself permission today. I was like, you know what? I have 3 books that I want to write. Three. 3 books. Got them outlined and everything. Then I was like, you go to these chat GPT events, start tapping into the chat GPT. And I tapped into the chat GPT, and now I'm on Canva doing all the covers and all of the inserts. I'm telling y'all, there's so many resources. You have to give yourself permission to use those resources. Tell pride to buy. Buy. You've been prideful all this time. Where have it got you? Tell it buy. You see somebody who doing something you want to do, but you don't ask them because you're like, oh, they're not going to tell me. Why would they tell me? No, ask them. Ask them. You have the resources that can help someone else get to a higher place. Tell them. Collaborate. That's definitely what I'm doing. I said anybody that I can work with, not anybody. Not anybody. But anybody that I feel led to work with, or I feel like, hey, we can pull this off together, that's who I'm working with. I used to feel like I was an island, like I could do everything by myself. And I'm gonna tell y'all what happened to me this week. I'm hosting a concert series, and I'm all for working with people, and people will be like, yeah, people will really they will give it to you. They'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna help you. We're gonna put this together. We're gonna do this like this. And I was like, okay, cool. You got that. I'm gonna focus on this. Oh, you got that. So we got a team. We're gonna pull a team together. And then people from the team just stopped showing up. They stopped communicating. It just wasn't there. So me being me, I saw a time where I would have freaked out and was like, "Oh my God, I'm just gonna cancel the whole concert series. It's over, whatever." Right? That's how I used to have really high anxiety. I did, but I started to think to myself. I said, just calm down. Just calm down. Just take a day." And I stepped away from everything and I just watched movies and I listened to music. Hey, let's go. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. I'm sorry, y'all. That scared me. But I stepped away from everything. I went and started, listen, now this might sound funny, but I literally went outside and I was hugging trees and I was walking in the grass. I went and sat by some water and I was just like, I need to connect with me. I need to connect with me. Because this thing that happens when you like trust other human beings is called disappointment. And in my younger years, if you told me you was going to do something you didn't, I made you eat those words. But I'm a grown ass woman right now. And so now it's just like, no, I have to acknowledge the disappointment. And I'm out here hugging trees, walking in the grass, listening to the birds, watching the squirrels and the rabbits. Listen, I'm telling you, I was connecting to the earth. And it was like, you got this. You've done this before. All you have to do is tap into your skills. And so I sat back and I was like, okay, what can I do? How can I get another rehearsal space? How can I pull this together? I had band members that were out of town. I'm like, what what am I going to do? And not one time did I freak out. And I was laughing so hard like I'm laughing right now. I remember I would have freaked out. So I came across this quote today and it said there's no losses in life. It's only wins and learning. And I was like, "Oh my god, that makes so much sense to me." Cuz I'm not gonna say I don't feel like I ever lost. I've learned. I've learned a great lesson. And I feel like these last 3 years of my life have taught me the most. And I feel like the expedited sense of the teachings that I've learned has caused me to be in a place where I am right now, where I'm getting ready to ascend to another level. And so as I'm looking at the tests and the trials and the heartbreaks and the disappointments, and I wasn't just like, oh man, I real life remember a time I would have said fuck. I would have said fuck that concert series. I'm trying to do this. When you have I'm trying to do this to make sure every all these artists, I'm going off complaining, just complaining, when in reality it was like, no, I am putting together this concert series because I want to do my part in making sure that music artists are able to perform. They understand the business of music. So I'm reassuring myself this is why you're doing it. And sometimes you have to remind yourself this is why I'm doing it. I am doing this because I knew when I was a little girl or I was a little guy, I knew I wanted to do this. When you're in an entrepreneurial space, they ask you, like, what's your why? And my why is I want to have the nurturing conversation because I want to give people the opportunity and a space to talk about shit that they are going through. You ever have somebody that you ask them, "Hey, how you doing?" And everybody, and you look at them, you looking at the people and say, "How you doing?" And they're just like, "Oh, I'm okay. I'm fine." And something on your entire being saying, "That's not it. I'm fine." Me, I'm gonna ask you a couple of times because I know this is what I learned about human beings. I'm gonna tell y'all. You ask them the first time, "How you doing?" They're gonna give you that, "Oh, I'm okay. Everything is fine. Everything is good." But you ask them two more times, they're gonna slowly start telling you, tell you what's going on. For me, I feel like if we move past or we release the fear and judgment, I feel like judgment is what's keeping a lot of people from being great. Judgment, fear, shame, embarrassment. Those things are what's keeping people from being great. We all have made mistakes. Nobody is perfect. Nobody will ever be perfect. Nobody. Not your mama, not your daddy, not me. No one will ever be perfect. As long as we are human beings and have flesh, we will not be perfect. We're going to make mistakes. Now, some of those mistakes we don't have to make because we should be able to like be disciplined in our decision making, but we all make mistakes. And I'm saying that in case she was like, man, I messed up really bad. We all make mistakes, but the key factor is what you do after you make that mistake. Do you wallow in that mistake and just be like, oh man, I can never come back from this? Or do you get up and you apologize sincerely? Apologize. You acknowledge that you made the mistake and you sincerely apologize, and then you give yourself permission to move past that. Give yourself permission to move past it. I was sitting here, I was like, when I said, "Oh, I remember a time I would have," like, and I was like, no, you know what I did after I said that? I started planning for 2024. I planned out the whole concert series for 2024. And you know what it helped me do? It helped me say, okay, I need to have this. Here's the venue, but in the event that I can't have rehearsals here, I need to have a backup plan. The backups. That's where I'm at right now. I'm with the backups. If this don't turn out, okay, I got this. I'm going to meet someone in the morning to see about sponsorships, figuring out, how I can make this bigger, how I can put it in other situations, like put it in other venues, put it outside in a park, take it to other states. When I say my objective is to make sure that music artists are good, that's my objective. I'm going to be good regardless because I am who I am. But I want to make sure that people around me are good. When I'm talking to my nieces and nephews, I'm like, hey, what is it that you want to do? My niece told me she wanted to make lip balms. the lip balms, lip gloss, something. We went to Hobby Lobby, got her all the lip stuff. We on FaceTime. We trying to figure it out how to do it. I believe if you want to be a fashion, I'm gonna go get you a sketchbook. I'm sewing into my nieces and nephews. My niece just told me, she said, "Titi, I want to make music." Okay, download GarageBand on your phone. Send me some music that you make, and I'ma sing to it. I'ma sing to it. We gonna put it out here. We gonna do it. So next week, me and her gonna be making some music, and I'm so excited because I'm not. Of course, I come from a musically inclined family, but it's not me forcing that on her. It's allowing her to tell me what she wants to do. That's another thing I realized, that we don't allow people to tell us what they want to do. We just try to like pigeonhole them into what we want them to do. In 2023, right now, I'm giving myself permission to explore, to test, to figure out what it is that I really want to do. And if I don't want to do it, I'm not doing it. I'm not wasting any time doing anything that I don't want to do. You shouldn't either. We got 4 months and 2 weeks left. 3 years ago, before this pandemic hit, you like, yeah, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to start this business. I'm going to get married. You had all these I'm goings. And then right now, today, you sitting here thinking like, I ain't did shit. You probably got vision boards like me. I got vision all around me. Ain't did nothing. Yes, I said ain't. Ain't did nothing on them vision boards. Ain't tried to do anything. And if you have, you only attempted to do the small things that you didn't need to have money for. I told somebody about my relationship with money, right? And they looked at me and they was like, how is that possible? Money don't move me. When I tell you, I be going to these pitch events, it be millionaires, multi-millionaires in these events, and they be talking, why did I sit up? They be talking on this level where it's just like, listen, I know you just like me. If you woke up in the morning and you ain't have no money, guess what you'll be doing? Trying to figure out how you gonna get your next dollar. That's it. You are exactly like me. You are no better than me. You are no better than me. You eat the same way I eat, with a fork and a knife, or sometimes, people eat with their hands. We all, if we take away the judgment, if we take away the embarrassment, if we take away the fear, if you stop telling yourself you can't do it, if you start giving yourself more positive things, that's why I'm going to take this moment right now and say I have a new series that I'm going to do on my socials, where I'm just going to call it, I haven't really narrowed down the topic of it yet, but it's going to be a positive moment, where I'm just going to give you a daily affirmation. That's what I'm going to give you every day. I'm going to give you a daily affirmation. If you stop telling yourself you can't, if you stop telling yourself nobody will listen, if you stop telling yourself everything that you're telling yourself and start believing, you got to take it from the inside out. Take it from the inside out. You love yourself. Tell yourself every day. Look in the mirror when you brushing your teeth, or you just wake up and you look in the mirror like, I woke up like this. Tell yourself you are beautiful, you are intelligent, you are handsome, you are smart. You are going to conquer the day. Give yourself permission to be positive. My parents didn't graduate. My baby daddy, we don't want to hear nothing about that. In these next 4 months and 2 weeks, I want you to kill everything that you tried to do but it didn't succeed. This is what I'm gonna tell y'all. I realized about myself that if at first you don't succeed, um there's a comes a times when you try to do something and it don't work. Maybe it's not meant for you to do it. Maybe it's meant for you to assist someone else who's going to carry it farther than what you can carry it. I had that experience in this last week, and I was like, yeah, I want to do this. This is what I want to do. And then I realized I really don't want to do it. I just want to pass, here's the package, and I want to pass it on to somebody else. So I packaged it up and I passed it on to someone else. And would you know that there's now another situation in the works. This is what I realized, right? Since I've given myself permission to be great, I've really been being great. And you could take that how you want to take it. You know how you be like, no, I don't mean that. You could take it how you want to take it. I said I wanted to do music business seminars, doing it. Wanted to do a concert series, doing it. Podcast, doing it. Documentary, doing it. Um, and I'm saying all this because we could say a year ago, I didn't have this confidence. I was working on it. I was building up to there. But what you need in this next phase of your life is confidence, discipline, and self love. Confidence, discipline, and self love is going to take you to places people never thought that you can go. It's going to take you there. When I realized the very thing that I lacked my entire life was discipline. Why would I? Why would I need discipline? I can go when I want to go. I could buy what I want to buy. I could do everything. That's why I said, like, when my brother asked me that, I was like, I always got a couple of dollars somewhere. I start to realize, like, I don't need five pair of shoes. I just need one. I went to the Goodwill a couple of months ago, and when I was growing up, my grandmother used to take me to the thrift store, and I would buy Eddie Bauer and Nautica and like I would buy everything, right? So I'd be bought out of school. People was like, "Oh, you Goodwill thrift store." So I went. I was feeling a little down, and I went. My mom was like, "Let's go to the Goodwill." I was like, "Okay, sure." Now I've always wanted loafers, like the loafers with the two tassels. I wanted black ones, and I wanted like the rust color ones, right? So I'm walking, I'm looking around the store, and I come to the shoe section, and my mom was like, "Look at these. These look nice. Don't you want a pair of these?" And y'all, I literally start crying. Oh man, I literally started crying in the middle of the Goodwill. It was like, this is impossible. How? I got a black pair and a rust color pair. They weren't new, but they were at the Goodwill. The black pair was new, but the rust color wasn't new. And I was like, oh, you know how you like, okay, let me see them. I probably can't fit them. I slid my foot in them shoes, and I was like, oh my god. I've always wanted these, and it wasn't like I couldn't buy them for myself. It was just I didn't think about them. I always wanted them. I just didn't think about them. I bought those two pair of shoes last Friday. I went to a radio interview, and you ever know when you were growing up and you hear the teacher coming and the shoes would be like click clack click clack click. So I'm walking into my radio interview, and I felt like a professional. I was dressed to the nines, but I felt like a professional because I had the click clack click clack click clack, and that's just me. That's just me thinking, professional. But as I was talking, there was this certain level of confidence. When I tell you, when you move past fear or you move past insecurities, you move past the I don't give a fuck who judge me. When you move past that, there is a certain level of confidence. It's like your confidence just be turned up to a whole, you just ramped, you just amped up, right? So I'm sitting there and I was just like, I can get used to this. I'm not freaking out. I'm calm. I'm able to make quality decisions, and this is pretty dope. I could see myself living like this. I was like when I get ready to turn 44, didn't even think about it. But when I turned 40, I was like, oh, 44 is gonna be lit. 44 is gonna be lit. But I had to get to 43 first. I had to get to the confidence. I had to get to the self discipline. I had to let go of the insecurities. Because sometimes we be thinking, oh, I don't have money, or oh, I don't have this, when in reality, all you have to do is clear this. Clear these two things, and you can conquer anything. When people keep telling you, yeah, I'm going to do that for you, I'm going to do that for you, and then they don't, and now you don't trust anybody who say they're going to do it, yeah, you got to let that go. I'm not telling you to be out here trusting the whole world, but what I'm saying is be cautious. Because what I realized as a 43-year-old, I'm really cautious. It's so crazy because when I was like 18 going into my 20s, I was going out of town by myself. I was doing all kinds of stuff. Now as a 40 plus year old woman, I'm really cautious. I be want to know. I need to contact people, send locations. I be doing all of that. And I'm giving myself permission to walk in my adulthood But I'm also giving myself permission to be mindful of the things, be aware of the things that's going on around me. Because, sometimes, like, if you're a teenager and you're watching this, you be like, oh, I can't wait till I get grown to get out of my mama house. If you are an adult and you're watching this, how many times have you said, I wish I could go back? I wish I can go back. Or I wish I would have learned. Or I wish I would have listened. How many times have you said that since you've been an adult? I know maybe you haven't said that, but I have. I've given myself permission to let go of everything. You can't live a happy, peaceful, beautiful life holding on to anger and bitterness and hatred. You can't. It's impossible because that's going to overshadow the goodness that can come. You ever been in a relationship or you ever get out of a relationship that was real shitty and you try to get into a new relationship and then you see one thing that was similar to the shitty relationship and now you're treating it brand new. It's brand new. Brand new. They don't treat you nothing like the previous person. They treat you as brand new. They worship the ground you walk on. And now you treating them like you should have treated the last person you was with. Yeah, we do that a lot. We do that a lot. But I want to tell you this, right? It is 2023. We have survived a global fucking pandemic. It is time for you to give yourself permission to fucking live. Live. If you're a parent and you got kids, do me one favor. Do me a favor. It's not necessarily me, but do yourself and your kids a favor. Take them out the country at least once. Even if it's just to Mexico or Canada. Take them out the country so they'll know how to experience. They'll have that experience of life outside of the United States, life outside of their corner, their state, the place they've been their entire life. Take them somewhere. Take them somewhere. Give them experiences. Talking to my mom. I do a lot of talking to my mom now. I talked to her before, but now it's on a whole nother level. Talking to my mom and talking to my niece. My niece is 15. She'll be 16 in March. And we're just laughing about all the experiences she had. And I was just like, that is so dope. So when she get to be like my age and, she has kids if she decides that's what she want to do. Or even with her cousins, it's like they have so many experiences. My nephew Cam and Mateo, they flew to Miami earlier this year, and just to see the experience, the photos, the videos, it's just like sharing those things. Like we were literally locked down. Like everybody was literally locked down. So now we have the opportunity to come and go, not as freely, but go somewhere. If you've been wanting to go, like I've been wanting to go, I want to go to the mountains. I shall go to the mountains of Colorado. And people are like, why do you want to go to Colorado? To smoke? No, I don't even smoke right now. But I want to go because you ever see a Coors commercial? This is part of the reason why I want to go. You ever see the Coors commercial and you see the mountains with the snow? Now, it snows in Wisconsin where I live, but I just want to go. I feel like I'm being drawn to the mountains and the snow and the higher elevation of air. Like I feel like I'm being drawn. I told you guys earlier. I feel like I'm being drawn higher, like to an elevated mindset. And I realized that I wasn't able to get to this place because I was harboring things. I was harboring the fear. I was harboring I can't do this because that's what I was harboring. And then when I let it go, it's like, what the fuck I mean I can't do this because I've been doing this. I've been doing this. You probably been living your life. You just haven't picked up a camera and vlogged it. But you want to do it. You want to do YouTube. You want to stream on Twitch. You want to be on TikTok. You want to do these things. And I'm not just saying like, oh, you got to be on there doing a dance. I be telling everybody who want to get on these different platforms, do what you do every day. If you sit in front of the mirror and do makeup, put the camera on. They be having people. I told somebody, if you're a makeup artist, if you are a makeup artist, listen to me. I'm about to drop something that you can pick up and run with. I was saying, how dope, if I was a makeup artist, I would do this. How dope would it be to go to like a domestic violence shelter or the Susan G. Komen Foundation, or you know someone who has experienced, some hardships or anything, and do like a makeup, a beauty day, a day of beautification or something like that. And you get all of your other people, like say you do makeup, your friends do hair, and y'all come together and just do a day of beautification. Even if, guys, if you are someone who cuts hair, just do a day of, I don't know, you know what I'm saying, like put it where guys won't feel uncomfortable. But anyways, but do that. Like give back to the community. I was telling someone like you will become a celebrity fast doing it that way than thinking that you're gonna go and be somebody's makeup artist. Cause you know how many people are trying to be a makeup artist? Is what I tell music artists. You will get to the place you're trying to go faster if you go on one of these platforms and you start showing people who you are. Because whether you believe it or not, we are all humans and we have all just come from a global fucking pandemic, so we all want to know how each other is doing. You might not ask, you might never ask somebody how they doing, but you want to know how they doing. And if you don't believe me, right? You ever see like when a celebrity, or not even a celebrity, when somebody passed away, you really want to know how people are doing. I really be want to know how people are doing. And sometimes I slide into people DMs and I ask them, "How are you?" And sometimes people answer and sometimes people just be like, okay. And we so used to people saying, oh, I'm okay. But you know, you have that feeling. It's like a spidey sense, but it's not a spidey sense. It's like a human sense. That's what I'm going to call it. Where you like, I know something ain't right. We got to start tapping into that more. When you talking to somebody and you feel like something ain't right, talk to them. Give them that space. That's what I do. That's why I have the Nurturing Conversation podcast, because I want you to be able to come here and maybe something that I say. Maybe it's my story, maybe it's a topic, maybe something that I say, or not even something that I say. Somebody in the chat, or you read something. Like maybe something that is said can help you be greater. Maybe the fact that I keep saying 4 months and 2 weeks is left in this year. Maybe you like, you know what? It is time for me to start whatever it is that you want to start. I want to write a book. What do I write a book about? Go to chatgpt.ai. I think that's what it is. And tell them what you want to write a book about. They'll help you. Y'all see all these commercials, or not commercials, all these YouTube videos or TikTok videos of people utilizing it. Use it. Use it. It is time. It is time for you to get up off your ass and start doing that very thing you've known your entire life you were supposed to do. You ever watch TV? Or like for me, I'm a music artist, right? So I watch like The Four, I watch American Idol, I watch these shows and I cry. Like I be crying like I'm on the show. I'm not on the show, but I be crying because these people have slept on park benches. They've given everything they got just for this one moment to stand in front of these people, to sing to them, for them to say yay or nay. Everything just for someone else. And for me, I started to think, I was like, here, I have everything I need to be successful, and I'm not even applying it. I'm not. I wasn't. Actually, I was halfway doing it. I wasn't giving it everything I got. I was testing the waters. I was not yet past fear. And then when I was like, fuck fear, I'm just going to be out. I'm going to get out here and do it. I've been doing it ever since. And that's not to say that disappointment don't come, because I told y'all earlier, disappointment does come. I just know how to respond to it now. That's so. You know what? I need to connect with you. I need to connect with you because I'm looking into doing audio books. We need to connect. Could you send me a whisper? That's so. I'm telling y'all, I'm doing all kinds of things. Like I have a children's book that I'm releasing that is going to come with a nursery rhyme album. So it's twofold. I'm telling you, everything I ever wanted to do. And the crazy thing, I'm gonna tell you how I thought about this. When we were growing up, they used to sing us all of these different nursery rhymes. And as I got older, I started to search like where the nursery rhymes came from. Like how did they come about? And I was like, oh my God, no, I'm going to start writing nursery rhymes. Like if you ever watch Barney or Sesame Street or Blue's Clues, like that's what I want to do. And you know what I started doing? I started testing songs on my nieces and nephews. And so they will remember this. I was singing to them when they were babies. And like I have, there's 3, 4, 6, 8, 15. I was singing songs to them when they were little. And so when I sing them or I hum them, they can sing the entire song. So for me, it's like, oh yeah, I'm putting these in my nursery rhyme album. And then I really started to think now. I started to think, as African Americans, we need to start singing more songs to kids. Like we need to tap into the kids thing because we have a lot of kids, and that's no knock to anybody. What I'm saying is we have a lot of kids, and we should definitely be providing them with songs that makes them feel beautiful, that makes them feel important, that they are like make them feel special. More children's books to help them make them feel special, to make them listen. When I go to these different pitch competitions, a lot of times I'm the only African American in there. And it's so crazy because I know that there are more African Americans than just me that has a business. It's just they don't go to these different events. And I started to go to more events to understand why they don't go to these events. And it was just like, yeah, I'm not going to go to these events either. Let's go. Thank you for the follow. I truly appreciate that. I'm just here. I'm just here to ensure. Um, when I was growing up, I would watch my mom. I would watch my mom do some really incredible things. She would she would literally take the whole block shopping. Not, and I'm not joking, like not to like no Foot Locker or anything like that, but we'll go to the Goodwill. But like she'll get everybody right from the Goodwill, right? And I would just be like, man, when I get older, I want to be like my mother. Most people like I ain't gonna be like my mother, but I want to be like my mother because she would give, like she would see a need and she would fill a need. I know I just said a Disney movie, but she would literally do for people. Even in her current state, she still does for people. And I asked her one day and I was like, well, why do you do it? And she was like, because I have the heart to give. And she was like, if anything happens to me, I would have given. So we had went to a repast on Friday. Sorry, I got a little emotional. And to see people running up to her and just like hugging her and just like, oh my God, I haven't seen you in so long. And for me, it was just like, I want to have that kind of like, I want that to be my legacy. I don't want it to be like, oh yeah, she kept saying she was going to do a YouTube. She kept saying she was going to do a podcast. She kept saying, oh yeah, she had talked about one time. I don't want it to be like that. I want it to be like she actually did, like this is what she did. She created a space. Like she was somebody who said she was going to do something and she actually kept her word. Like that's what I want it to be. That's like when people ask me to do something previous to now, I would just like at a drop of a hat. But now I've come to learn and understand boundaries. And if I don't feel comfortable in doing it, I'm in a place now where I can verbalize that and not have that guilty feeling. Like when people ask you to do something, you're like, oh, I'm so tired, I can't do it. But then you feel guilty. So you're like, hey, I'm on my way to do it. I started to put myself first. That's what I realized about my mom. She made sure that we were good, and then after she was good, we was good, then she would do for other people. Like she wasn't doing it for everybody else and then do it for us. She was good, we were good, and they were good. And so now I don't have any kids, but I think about my nieces and nephews and I'm like, I want to give them everything that I know. I want to give them so much love. I want to tell them, I want to listen to them. My nephew has fallen in love with the Peaches song. So whenever he comes in here, I got all this equipment right. Whenever he comes in here, he say, TJ, I want to sing the Peaches song. And I just thought today, I said, you know what, the next time he come in here to sing the Peaches song, I'm going to record him. Because when my niece, my 15-year-old niece, who was 3, about to be 4, I had worked on the Christmas album, and I let her be on the Christmas album. It's still out there. It's still out there. And when she heard herself sing, the look on her face, like, I'm gonna tell you. So, I did the radio interview. They asked me like, why do I do it? And I said because as a music administrator, I know that music artists do not envision what their music would sound like live, because they're like, I'm not gonna have a band. How am I gonna find a band? Who do I know play instruments? Like, it's all these different things. So I was like, I want to give you the opportunity to perform live with a band. You could take the video footage and use it to book festivals. You can use it to book other, other events. So I had a rehearsal last week, and so it is the most amazing thing to see an artist when their music is like, when the band is actually playing their music. I tried to capture that this week when I was in rehearsals. I'm gonna share it on Twitch and YouTube. I'm gonna share it with you guys so you can see it. Like, so the artists are performing and they're listening because they think that their music is going to sound like it sounds on the track. You know, when you're in the studio, you could add all kinds of effects and everything. But when it's live, like, so when I talk to artists, I'm like, when you are in a live setting, right? You have to not only like feed off the audience, you are now have to feed off the band. You have to catch a vibe. You have to catch a vibe. So we're in rehearsal, and the band, they play the music for a little bit, so to get the artists a little warmed up, and then they say, okay, we ready. So then when they say we ready, they cut the music off, and then they just start jamming. Every time they started jamming, I tried to capture it. I can't even. For me, it gives me the sense of this is why I do it. Their eyes get wide, and then they do this thing like, oh my God, I've never even. And it has happened every time I've put artists with a band. Every time. And for me, it's that moment to see them, and then many of the artists who have performed on my concert series, whether it's the one I did in 2019 or the ones who have performed thus far, are now like, okay, I need to add this element to my performance. And for me, that's what it's about. It's encouraging music artists to be greater than just, I'm gonna take my song and I'm gonna rap over my song. No, you have too much talent, too much skill. We need you to elevate it. Um, I went to watch wonderful. She's a multi instrumentalist. I went to watch her performance, and so I had already had this idea of my next venture. I already had this idea of my next venture, and I said, you know how you say, like I said, if this is what I'm supposed to do, make the way clear. That's what I say. Anytime something comes over me and I say I want to do, if this is what I'm supposed to do, make the way clear. So I go and I listen to this artist's amazing voice. She played the bass, she played the keyboard, amazing. So after that, she comes and she's talking to me, and she says, I say, make the way clear. And I say, I need to hear this if this is. She says exactly the words that I needed to hear, and I said, it is official. I will be starting another venture in the coming weeks. I can't put a date on it right now because I have to work out some kinks. But I'm going to start another venture. Um, I think it was robots see a need, feel a need. I said that earlier. So I see where there is a need for something, and I'm willing to like be the foundation, the person to pick it up and like walk with it until I find somebody I'm comfortable to pass it over to. But there is a need. If you are a music artist, you know that there is a need, and especially if you are booking shows, you know that there is a need of having someone who understands writers, someone who understands per diems, all of these different things. There is a need, especially for people of color. There's a need to have someone who understands that space, who understands how they could negotiate, who has that skill of negotiation, there is a need. So, hi, I'm going to fill that need. I don't know how long I'm going to fill that need, but I'm going to fill that need. I'm telling you, when I was last year trying to figure out what I was going to do in my life, since my life completely changed, what am I going to do? And I was like, this is what I want to do. No more in life am I going to do things because I need to. Like, oh, I gotta pay my rent, so let me go over here and get this job just so I can pay my rent. No, I'm going to do the things that I love, that I want to do, and that is going to bring me the greatest happiness. I don't know about you, but in my 40s, I'm 43. From here on out, I just want to be in a state of peace and happiness. That's all I want. I already had discipline. I already had all of those things over there. That's why I decided to go to therapy in my 20s, because I was like, I don't want to walk around with this anymore. The traumas of my childhood, the traumas of my young adulthood, the traumas of my 20s, the trauma, I don't want to walk around with it. We always going to carry that with us, cuz it's like our body don't forget, but I don't want to keep holding on to it. I don't want to be a bag lady. I don't want to be carrying around those things. I want to release it and let it go. And cuz when you hold on to those things, shame, embarrassment, fear, all of those things are attached to that. I got places to go. I got countries to visit. I need to let all of that go. I need space. I got businesses I need space. I'm giving myself permission right now to let that go. I said when I started this journey of healing and self discovery, I said I wish more people, like older people, would talk about their experiences more. Like when I went to talk to my parents and understood where they were before I was born and when I was born, it totally helped me understand my path in life. And then to talk to them as adults and understand where they are presently helped me even more. Like if you are a parent and you have kids, it is important for you to look at your child and say, I want to make sure that you have the greatest life. And I don't mean buying Jordans and all of these Miss Me jeans and all of that. I mean the greatest life where they feel loved. Not because you buy them something, but you actually pay attention to them. You actually invest in them. Not you going to be a basketball player because when you get older, you're going to buy me a house, or you're going to be whatever, you're going to buy me a house, but you actually listen to them. You actually hug them. Hug them, kiss them, ask them how they are doing. Sit down and watch a movie with them. Spend time with them. I know we just come from a global pandemic and we were all cooped up in the house, but at the same time, we live in a world where if you won't do it, some of these people out here will do it. And now it's teachers that are doing it. It's probably always been teachers, but it's more prevalent with teachers now. Teachers and pastors and neighborhood watch people. It's all kinds of people that if you don't take advantage of your child being in your home, this is why when I be talking to parents, I say your home should be the safest place for your child. Your home should be. I'm so grateful that when I was growing up, my home was a really safe space. My home was a safe space. You wasn't going to come up in my mama house with none of that foolishness. You wasn't. And anybody that came to our house, you wasn't going to come up in their house. You wasn't going to come up to her house with none of that. She was having none of that. None of that. More parents need to be like that. But when you come from a broken situation and you grow up and then you have kids and you're not healed, I'm one of those people that will talk about healing. We need to be healed. If you are a parent, you need to heal those things that happened to you in your childhood, in your young adulthood, in whatever situation, your last relationship, your first baby daddy, first baby mama. You need to heal those things so that you don't indirectly pass those things on to your kids. I would hear people all the time, it's like, yeah, I'm staying in a relationship for my kids. And in my mind, I'm thinking like, this is my opinion. In my mind, I'm thinking like, those kids don't know nothing about that relationship. I'm sure those kids are tired of seeing you crying. I'm sure those kids are tired. And then you're not paying attention to this because you're thinking about, oh yeah, I'm making sure these kids is good. But then your kids are harboring things because they see how that person treats you. They see how they make you cry. They see all of these things. But you, in your adult mind, is thinking like, oh no, they just kids. They don't know. I want you to give yourself permission to get out of that situation. I want you to think about your kids and how it will affect them, even though they're little right now. They may be little, maybe they're teenagers. Think about how it's going to affect them. I don't feel like we think about those things enough. When I was growing up, I was like I was grateful to have like my aunties and uncles, like be surrounded by older people who wanted to spend time with me and talk to me about stuff. Me and my brothers were joking the other day. Like my uncle, his birthday just passed in July, and we would talk to him, and it seemed like he would talk for hours. He would literally talk for hours, and in him talking for hours, he was saying some really great things. But you know, when you're younger, you're like, my attention span. I'm trying to go over here. I just came to say hi, how you doing, get a plate, and go. But he would talk for hours. And then as you get older and you realize, like, you think back to the conversations, you think back to the things they said. Like my uncle told me, he said, you are going to be really successful in life because you made the decision to go to therapy and fix the thing that was broken with you. He said, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. He told me all the things that was going to happen. And sure enough, when those things happen, I thought back to the exact moment, and I was just like, that is so crazy how things happen in your life. My uncle is no longer here, but what I wouldn't give for one of those uh, lectures, as I used to call them, what I wouldn't give, because then I could tell him, like, Uncle, you remember when you said, I've did that. Not just once, I did that multiple times. And not only was I able to do it, I was able to share it with other people and they were able to do it. It's like I'm gonna learn how to I said I'm gonna learn how to get monetized on these different platforms, and I was gonna tell everybody how to do it. And then you like, hey, I can show you how to get monetized on these different platforms, and people looking like, whatever. You only got these number of people, and why you gonna do it for yourself? And I say, because my objective with streaming on these different platforms is not to get rich. I'm already rich. I was born rich, and I know most people be like, oh, so you a millionaire? You got all that? I don't. That's not how I define rich. I have peace. I'm rich. I have love. I have a community that keeps me lifted, that keeps me grounded. I am surrounded by love. That is the greatest wealth for me. Money is cool. I ain't gonna act like I'm not gonna sit here and act like I don't need it because I'm trying to go. I'm trying to go on a cruise and out the country. So money is good, but to have people that love me and have people that will like believe in me, like when I this concert series, I'm like, I want to do a bi-monthly concert series. I want to book 6 artists. I want to, here's what I want to do. And people were looking at me like, impossible. I'm on my third, this Wednesday would be my third show. This Wednesday would be my third show. And I'm super excited about that. Super. Because I saw a time when I would have said, fuck this. Everything falling down, everything it's most people take that as like, oh, you're not supposed to do it. That's your sign that you're not supposed to do it. And for me, that's a sign that I need to work a little harder. Being too lackadaisical. You can't have dreams and then tell everybody your dreams and expect them to complete your dreams for you. No, you have to get up off your ass and get your own dreams. Get your own dreams up off the ground. Yes, books. Yeah, I think that's how you say it. I hope that you send me a whisper. Let me see if I can't send you a whisper because I'm on here. But please send me a whisper because I would love to talk to you because I really have some ideas, especially about my children's book. I want to encourage you. I usually would go longer, but I said all I need to say. Y'all, Hey, give yourself permission. Give yourself permission to leave that relationship. Give yourself permission to leave that job. Give yourself permission to stop worrying about people judging you. I'm gonna tell you. Let me tell you why. Clear my throat so when I say it, you can like catch it. If people judge Jesus, Buddha, Allah, whichever person you believe in, what you say? Okay. Sorry, y'all. If they judge them, who are you that you cannot be judged? Who are you? I learned a long time ago when I was little. Like, I tell people, I've been saying this, it's so crazy, I've been saying this for years, but the environment in which I grew up in prepared me for the time in which I live right now. You know, if you are a music artist or you somebody who want to be a celebrity, you want to be famous, thank you. You are somebody who want to be famous, you know that there's going to be cameras around you all the time. Y'all see when these people be rich and then they go out to different places. For one minute, I forgot who the celebrity was, but every time they went out, somebody would say that they punched them or they bumped them or they knocked their camera down or something. People gonna be out here trying to get a easy payday. Always, always. People are always out here to try to get the quick buck. So what I realized for me is I need to learn discipline. And I said earlier it was about buying a bunch of shoes, but the discipline for me is being focused on the thing that I need to do and not being distracted. Discipline. Having the wherewithal to say, I don't need to go outside tonight when I know that at 9 o'clock in the morning I have a meeting. And I shouldn't be arriving at 9 o'clock because for me, 9 o'clock is when the meeting is supposed to start. So, of course, that means I have to get up early and I have to travel across town. So, I'm going to rest. You know, you got to get up at work at 6 o'clock in the morning. Why are you outside partying, kicking and turning it up? You probably like, yeah, I'm going to go, I'm going to get a look. No. Especially if you're not in your 40s. I'm going to tell y'all what I realized when I crossed over into my 40s. Those naps they had you taking back at preschool, naps are so important. I can take a nap in the middle of the day. When I tell y'all, I feel like I just drunk energy, like I have energy out this world. It's like my mind be so clear. I can just sit down and like, okay, let me put this what I need to do. Okay, boom. Naps are important. I know they got the song say I don't get tired. You do. You just don't acknowledge that. Listen to your body because it's gonna tell you. And you don't want your body to tell you after the fact. You don't want to be like, hey, I'm we dehydrated and you like, yeah, I'm gonna get some water. Eventually you still drinking them sodas, throwing all that other stuff, putting that unhealthy stuff in you. And then your body say, you know what, you're not gonna listen to us. We just gonna shut down. You don't want your body to shut down. Take it from me. You don't want your body to shut down. Listen to this. Listen to this. That small voice or that loud voice in the back of your head that keeps telling you, listen to it. If it's telling you that now is the perfect time for you to start your business, start your YouTube, get that book, makeup, whatever it is that you want to do, listen to it. It is time. You're probably like, I don't have the resources. There are so many resources on YouTube, TikTok. I know you probably like, did she just tell us to go to TikTok? TikTok is how I found out about the fires in Hawaii. TikTok. TikTok is how I done found out more stuff on TikTok than I have any other site. TikTok. And then when I'm the type of I like to research things. So when I see it on TikTok, I'm like, okay, well let me go over here and Google, do my little thing. And I was like, why are we talking about these things? Like, let me ask you this, right? I'm wrapping it up. Give yourself permission. Have y'all seen pictures of the Canada wildfire? I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm not saying that it's not happening. I'm just asking if anybody's seen a picture of it. If you have, could you send it to me? Because I haven't seen one. Now, I live in Wisconsin, and I have seen the alleged smoke from the Canada wildfires, like, take over. Like, we had air quality things, warnings going off all the time. But you know, like when it's California wildfires, like we see the helicopters and it's dropping the whatever they drop. You see the people out there. Um, haven't seen the California. When you see the Maui wildfires, why you we see those. We seeing that. I don't know. I just haven't seen them. You know, like somebody was like, "Do you actually believe that there is aliens?" I said, "I've been telling people my whole entire life I've seen aliens." I probably shouldn't say that out loud because now people are gonna be questioning me. I don't know, but I don't even care because I've been seeing them. I've been felt like they existed. We just didn't acknowledge them. Like there's spirits. There's all kinds of things. You just they've been here. I know you probably like, but the reality of it is there's a lot of things that are here that we just don't acknowledge or we don't like to acknowledge, like racism. But you know, hey, that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. You got to give yourself permission to be like realistic, because it's people that really don't believe that racism exists, but I do, because I'm gonna tell y'all my story. I'm gonna tell y'all my story. I'm giving myself permission to talk about these things because at one point I wouldn't have talked about them because I did not believe that they actually happened. But you know those people that be wearing those all white suits with the point at the top? Y'all know who I'm talking about. I went to a predominantly white schools my entire life. Well, first week of middle school. It's like elementary, middle school, and then I got shipped out to chapter 220. Well, when I graduated from high school and went to college, I went up north to Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. I graduated from Marion College of Fond du Lac, which is now Marion University. And I'm telling you this because this is important to my story. So in my history books, I see those people that like to wear all white with the hose, and I see those people, and I'm thinking like, that was when, back in the days when my grandma, you think is back in the days. This is 1999. I was graduating high school, going into college. That I graduated in June, went to college that August, and so I get to college, and I'm literally looking at these people like I'm looking at y'all in the camera right now. I'm looking at these people walking around with these flags and nooses and all of those different things. And I'm just like, I gotta be in the Twilight Zone. Have y'all ever seen the Twilight Zone? I was like, I gotta be in that. Like, how my brain could not comprehend. How did my grandmother and my mother and my great, all of my generations see y'all? Like, I never thought in my life like I would actually see it with my own two eyes and experience, but I did. And then if that wasn't enough, um, there was rallies, there was so many different things. So when I like be talking to people, I have like this different perspective of like life and compassion for human beings, and I'm definitely smart. I'm not saying that, but I'm definitely smart, and I started to pay attention more, because like when they dressed up like this, you don't know who they are, but they be around us every day, on the police force, doctors, lawyers, dentists. They're like everywhere. And so when I started to think about that, I started to change my perspective. When I go to these different pitch events, um, it's so weird. It's weird for this. These things are weird for me because when they look at me, they're like, they automatically say, "Oh, she's just coming to talk to us about a daycare business, a t-shirt business." I'm already stereotyped because when they think about black people, they think daycare, t-shirts, record labels. I don't do any one of those things. So when I told them I was doing music, they was like, "Oh, well, we're not investing in music artists right now." It's like, no, I'm not. I am a music artist, but I'm not doing that. I'm doing sample clearance, or I'm showing music artists how to get a financial return on their musical investments. And they was like, they're intrigued because there's like, how did you learn it? What do you know about that? And so then I'm like, I never told them I have a bachelor's degree. Never told them that. But guess what? I'm gonna start doing that. So I'm talking to them, and then it's just like, how did you get in here? Why do you want to do that? Like, don't you want to be over there and help them? And I'm looking like, no, I want to be right here because y'all are the same people that's giving these artists 500, giving these artists all these big old dollar signs, and then telling their mind they gonna be famous and they gonna do all of this, and then when they don't get to that pinnacle, they don't reach that pinnacle. Now they over here sad, and then they either end up in jail or dead or somewhere else. But it's like if somebody who was in the community start taking the initiative to educate artists, to educate not only just artists, I say educate artists' parents too, because let me tell y'all why. Y'all ever see, um, y'all know y'all know Disney, right? Y'all ever see how many artists, or not artists, how many people, young people, come from Disney and be good? Have y'all seen it? Have y'all ever seen how many people that go to Disney, that come up to the Mickey Mouse Club, all those things, and be good? That's good right now. Y'all see it? You know why a lot of them child stars aren't good? Because their parents see the money. This is why I be talking to parents all the time. Their parents see the money. They don't have the wherewithal to say, let me go get a job, or let me start a career. They say my child is really talented at whatever they doing, so I can put them in this, and you're going to give them this amount of money. Oh yeah, come on, little Billy, little Susie, little Derek, you gonna go on over here and dance on these Mickey Mouse clubs. You gonna do. And then the kids, like the one, what's her name, she was on iCarly. A lot of them, if you ever listen to a lot of their stories when they're being interviewed, they didn't want to do that stuff, but their parents wanted them to do that because poor, like my favorite, Britney Spears, poor Britney. I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm gonna just say this out loud because I've been saying this out loud to the people I love. Um, they need to go ahead and do one of those DNA matches or something on Britney, because the Britney, uh, we see, I don't know, it's something different about her. That's I'm not saying that that's a factor too, but it plays a huge part in it because a lot of them can't sign contracts for themselves. So somebody had to sign the contract. Somebody had to okay for it to happen. Why is my light flickering? That's weird. Somebody had to okay for it to happen. There's other factors too. There's other factors too. There's a lot of other factors. There's the factors of drugs. There's a lot of factors. But they are getting into those different things because of their parents. Maybe the child at one point say, "Yeah, I want to be a Mickey Mouser, or I want to star in Disney." But there needs to be a team around them, a community around them. Like Kiki Palmer came up in those situations, but she had a solid team. And that's not to say that nobody else had a solid team, but that's to say, if you are envisioning to do something that involves celebrityism, if that's not even a word, I think I just made that up. But if you are planning to do something that involves you being a celebrity, I ain't even gonna talk about being a celebrity. If you are gonna be on these social platforms, right? You are opening yourself up to criticism. You're opening yourself up to judgment. You're opening yourself up to a lot of different things. I want to encourage you to take the time to do the work, the inner work, like figure out your insecurities, deal with them, and because these internet streets, I'm going to go ahead and say they are more vicious than the real life streets. Like we know the real life streets, they cruel, but these internet streets, half of these people you will never see, half of them you will never know, and they can say they say some of the most vile, some of the most inhumane things to other humans. They do it all the time. You ever hear celebrities? They be like, I don't read the comments because they already know. People, we all share our opinions all the time. I've shared a lot of my opinions here, but I try to, in my opinion, just express like I said, like I feel if parents deal with their hurts, their shames, their pains, and as they are raising the next generation, then we'll have a lot more secure, confident adults. I've never, when I was growing up, I was saying someone, I was telling someone, I remember when I was growing up, like you could date and you didn't have to worry about if you were going to make it home. You could hang out and you didn't have to worry about people. Like it was so different then. You would never hear of people harming elderly women or kids. You wouldn't hear that they were not, people were not having that. Now it's just like the okay, Corral, everybody for themselves. I don't want to. I don't want that to be my story. I want to, if I know that you are trying to do something, I want to assist however I can. If I have to talk about it on my YouTube or share it on my social medias, that's what I'm going to do. We all can win. Somebody's like, no, if everybody's winning, then who's going to lose? I was like, why do anybody got to lose? Why we all can't win? I was saying, like, if I have a t shirt, like, I have, like, I don't have it, but I'm saying if like I have a t-shirt place, like I have all the t-shirts, all colors, all sizes, and you have heat press, right? And you make the vinyl or the transfers that go on it, right? Why we can't come together and like build something? Like why we can't do that? Like if you have the idea for the start a trucking company, you don't want to be a trucker. You just want to like start the company. You're gonna put the investment. Why I can't be a dispatcher at your trucking company? Like why we can't work together to like y'all remember 3 years ago when like the pandemic first started and we all wanted to be outside. We never you never wanted to go to work more than you wanted to go to work in 2020. And then it's like 2021. It's like yeah, we outside. We doing. But like for me during those times, it was like I need to figure out what it is that I'm going to do for legacy. I don't know why or I don't know how it happened, but I just started thinking about legacy. Like I wanted to be where when people think about me, I wanted to be. Of course, you're gonna have people who know me like my entire life. It's gonna be like, girl, I remember when. But I want people to be like, she kept it real. Even if she was having a fucked up day, she told us she was having a fucked up day. And by the end of that day, she was good. She shared everything with us. And I know people like, you got to keep some things to yourself. I do keep a lot of, some things I keep to myself. But I want you to know you are not alone. You are not alone. I've sat in the dark before and cried a lot of times. A lot of times. But now I don't cry anymore because you know what I do? I get up off my ass and I make shit work. I could sit here and cry until I get a headache, and then it's like you go. You ever have a good cry and then you go and take a nap? I could sit here and cry and then go and take a nap and get up and still ponder on that thing. Now I don't do that. If I have a disagreement or I have something on up in here with somebody, I'm calling them. We gonna go get coffee or something. I'm gonna resolve it and I'm gonna leave it where it is. I'm not gonna bring that thing over into 2024. I'm not bringing it into August. I'm not bringing it into September. I'm leaving. We gonna have this conversation and we gonna end it right there. I'm giving myself permission to leave it where it is. Let go. When I gave myself permission to set boundaries, do you know that that was really hard for me? As somebody coming from a former people pleaser, setting boundaries was really hard for me. It was really hard for me. Sometimes I still be thinking like I could do, and then I have to tell myself, no, you cannot do. That's exactly that. That's exactly that. That's why I said like the environment I grew up in gave me tough skin. The environment I grew up in taught me like people gonna talk about you. Like it was so crazy because I would see people kicking it with certain people and they would talk about them when they wasn't around. And for me, it was like, if you're doing that to them, I can only imagine what you do to me. See, I always had that, like that. So for me, I treat everybody how I want to be treated. Like that's just how I see. I want you to feel loved. I want you to treat me with love, so I'm gonna treat you with love. I want you to respect me, so I'm gonna respect you. I want you to listen to me. So when you're talking, I'm gonna listen to you. I'm not gonna listen and be like, "Oh yeah, let me jump in right here." No, I'm listening to you. I'm hearing everything you say, and then when you finish your thing, I'ma say this is what how I feel. Like when I gave my disclaimer, I'ma share my opinions because I want y'all to talk to me. If I say that I believe aliens are real, if somebody in here was like, she crazy thinking aliens are real. Aliens are real. I was telling my mother, I was like, they call people who come here illegal aliens. She's like, oh, you making a joke? No, like for real. Like aliens are real. And I'm not calling them aliens. I'm saying like it's so many things unexplained that we will probably never get that we will never get answers to. And then you ever realize when people start asking questions about things, things start happening to them. So I know how far to go. I know how far to go. I just throw some things out there, but I know how far to go. At the same time, my mother taught me when I was growing up, when we was young. She said, if anybody hits you, hit them back. I know y'all probably heard that one before, but she said if what people say can't food can't get provide you with food, clothing, or put a roof over your head, it doesn't matter. And when I thought about that, it was like, oh, okay. But then when you actually start paying attention, like this one right here is the one I've really come to realize. As somebody who walks in light, love, and positivity, if you don't have anything good to say, don't say anything at all. When I literally came into the understanding of that, because like you be like, don't say anything at all. You like, well, we still be giving our opinions, we still be saying stuff. I literally learned to be quiet. Because anything you say is only adding fuel or salt, or it's adding to what is already happened. So I learned to be quiet. That was one of the greatest things. I'm telling you, I learned so much on this journey. I'm on a journey of healing and self-discovery, and I know that as long as we are alive, we're going to be on journeys. But I'm acknowledging my journey of healing. I acknowledge my journey of self-discovery because I always realized that I was confident. I already knew that I was confident, especially I knew that I was confident. I just needed to activate that confidence in a level or in the manner in which when I walk into these rooms, and I'm talking about my business, and I walk into these rooms, and I'm talking about the situations that I endured. I need that's what it's called. that's that's what it's called. I had to learn that. Me, I was just, in your younger years, you feel like you could do everything, anything. I'm not afraid of the big bad wolf. Sometimes I'm not saying you need to be afraid, but you need to be aware of them. Like people like sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. I realized that was not true for me, cause I'm somebody who listens to words. Like I love words. Like I'm a songwriter, so I love words. I love how words. You ever you ever be in an argument with somebody and it's the way that they say, it's not what they say, it's the way that they say it. I mean, I guess it is the things that they say, but it's the way that they say it. And it just be like, I can't believe that you said that to me. I used to do that a lot. But now, as an adult, well, I've been an adult for a long time, but now I'm in a space where it's like, I know when we get in our feelings, when we get in that, somebody thump us, hit us in that heart, and we've all done this. I want to say we all. I'll just speak for me. I've done this before, where somebody hurt my feelings, and I say I'm gonna get you back. That's that hurt people hurt people. And then I got older, and I started to go through therapy, and I started to understand I started to understand why I reacted that way. I started to understand why. And I began to say, you know what? I don't want to be a hurt person that hurt people. I want to be a hurt person that healed and showed other people how to heal. That's what I want to be. I want to tell you, like, if you worried about people judging you, people are judging you. I'm not going to sit here and say people not judging you because people are judging you. We judge people every day. Every day. Every day. I be walking in places. I walked in over the weekend or this, y'all know what I'm saying. I walked somewhere and somebody clenched their purse. And I looked and I said, did they just clench their purse for me? I don't want your purse. But I had to understand. I had to understand. Because when it's talked about, it's like, oh, I don't want your purse, ma'am. I don't even want, I don't even want, hey. But that's the world we live in. And I'm not saying that's okay, but at the same time, I'm saying, I don't want your purse, ma'am. I'm, I should be more afraid of you. I said to someone, I said, it's so crazy how fear, fear is used in like everyday life. Fear is used in everyday life. Fear is definitely used in religion. Fear is used in like if you think about it, if you really think about it, why don't people like the police? Fear. They're afraid. I'm gonna tell y'all, I when I be driving, I got everything in my sun visor. I don't reach over to my right to get nothing. I got everything in my sun visor, and I am legit. Everything about me is legit. But when I see them red and blue and white lights, it's something that it does something to me. It does something to me. I always make sure my phone is charged, and I do a group FaceTime just in case one of the somebody fall out. Somebody gonna have it. I should. I'm sorry. I'm gonna start going live. But anyways, it does something to me, and I'm just gonna say, like truthfully, it does something to me, and I'm legit all the way around, all the way around. Everything is good. My car, truck, good. License, everything is good. But I still get a little bit. Y'all wanna know why? I'll tell y'all why. Give yourself permission. Give yourself permission to acknowledge, to accept, acknowledge and accept. Shit happened to you. Don't just throw it in the back of your mind and act like it didn't happen because you know that that shit happened. You know that to this present day, you are not dealing with shit has caused you to be in the situation that you are in. That's just my opinion. Because think about it. If you would have dealt with the fact that you were, situations was happening to you, you would be farther along. You are where you are right now because you haven't given yourself permission to let it go, giving yourself permission to address it, giving yourself permission to say that shit happened to me, but I am better than that. And I was saying that because I was going to tell y'all this story, and then I'm going to wrap it up. One day I was driving someone else's vehicles. This is why I don't be driving people's vehicles anymore either. I was driving somebody else's vehicle, and I got pulled over, and they were like, "You fit the description of somebody that just left." Look at me, y'all. I didn't have dreads or locks then. I had long, flowing, beautiful hair, and it was like, "You fit the description of somebody who just ran from a accident scene." And I was like, okay, license and registration. I gave him license and registration. And so then he came back. You know, they take forever to give you. They take forever. You already went to the car. You typed it in, called them, whatever. They already told you, come on back to the car. You ain't got to take that long time. So he come back to the car. He gave me a ticket for, I think, not having insurance. It wasn't my car. It wasn't my car. But not having insurance on the car. And so I'm asking the question. I was like, had you not, in my mind, I was like, you said you put me over because I fit the description. So I need to know, well, I had to give you a ticket because, but you would have never put me over if he, do y'all know this man flipped his gun, the thing on his gun, And his partner was sitting right there. I was like, wait, he about to shoot me because I'm asking him a question. And if he pulled me over for one thing, but didn't give me a ticket for that, he gave me a ticket for something else. Now, at the time, I was so irritated because I was like, you pulled me over saying I fit a description. And then you ever asked them what the description was? That just put me over the top. So now I'm asking questions. So then he like, ma'am, get back in the car. I'm up here. And as I think about it right now, it was like, yeah, that was a real dangerous situation. But I didn't think about the dangers in the situations until I saw everybody's phones pointing at me. And when I saw everybody's phones pointing at me, it dawned on me like you don't want to be on. I don't want to be one of those people that's like, oh, what happened? She was at the gas station. And everybody got it. Nope. I was like, you know what, sir? Can I get your badge number and information, whatever? And I got in the car and I thought about it, and I was just looking at the sheer terror in his partner's face because he knew that he didn't flick the taser, he flicked the gun, and I was just thinking like, you gonna shoot me because I'm asking you a question? So for me, that's why when I see them red, white, and blue, I feel a little. I think it's when you have an experience. I feel a little. Then they come to the car, and I just, you know, I I don't know. I just be feeling weird. It's so many things that made me feel weird. It's like I just had to acknowledge the fact that um, while I enjoy talking about my business or pitching my business, I had to say I'm going to focus more on my business and actually building out or being in a tech space because the tech space is weird. Again, that's my opinion. The tech space is weird. I've been able to navigate it so far, but it's weird. And for me, anything that become too weird, I'm gonna go ahead on. I'm gonna come back over here to where I'm supposed to be. That over there is a little too weird for me. So I'm gonna let y'all have that. And if I need to tap into a software engineer or something, I'm gonna come. I'm gonna see over here who I can reach out to, cause that's a little weird. I be going to these different events, and I just said to myself, you don't have to be here. You don't have to be here. I love networking. I love networking, getting to know other people, but I don't have to be here. I don't. And the moment I said that, it was like my body was like my mind, my entire being was like, finally, we thought you'll never get the picture. And it was like I had to give myself permission. I had to tell myself like you trying to fit in with other people, you don't have to do that. And that's not me saying I was trying to fit in with them tech people because I wasn't. It was just I was being invited to different places because I have a tech platform and because there are not a lot of African Americans where I live that's doing. Y'all get what I'm saying. And so for me, it was like I don't want to be. I don't want to do that. I don't want you to just help me just because you feel like. I want you to help me because you genuinely want to help me. You genuinely want to see music artists be successful, and that's what I'm doing. So you're sewing into me because you genuinely want to help. That's the only thing. That's the only way I want to work in 2023 and beyond. If you genuinely want to help, let's do it. If you just only doing it so that you can get the photos and the videos and more grant money, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. And I said that because if you are in a situation where someone is benefiting off of your existence more than you, it is time for you to change your position. I'm telling you, I got experience. I got experiences for days. But you got to give your. It took me giving myself permission to say, "Hey, you've been carrying around this shit for too long. It is time for you to put it down." And a lot of the shit that we carry around isn't even ours to carry. We carrying around our entire family's shit on our backs. That's not yours to carry. Put it down. You carrying shit from when you was 8. It is time for you to either acknowledge it, accept it, and move on, or you will forever carry that around. You will forever carry it around. And I'm saying like you will have a bag carrying around, this is, you got 8, 9, 10, 11, 25, 35, and you carrying around in your body. It's like, we can't carry no more. You throw it in the back of your mind is like, we can't hold nothing else back here. You got to start emptying, cleaning it out. You got to start letting stuff go. I was grateful to have people to tell me that I need to start talking about it. I need to start acknowledging it. Somebody asked me one day, it was like, what if you are the person that's supposed to talk about it? And I was like, all these people in the world, why can't they talk about it? And I thought to myself, sometimes people need someone like them to hear. Somebody needs to hear. I have been in the dark before, and if you know what the dark is, you've been there. It's like, I don't know what this next moment of my life is going to be, but if something doesn't change, I've been there, and I've been there more than once. And you know what I always find out? Something changes, and it changes because I want it to change. I'm not looking for it to change. I'm not sitting here like, yeah, something got to change. And I'm not making the steps or doing what I need to do to initiate that change. I'm doing the work. I'm doing the work because I can't say I want to be light, love, and positivity and not walk in that. That's what I'm walking in every day. I started meditating. I meditate multiple times a day. I even started sharing meditations on my YouTube. I was like, let me see if this will work. But people actually come and meditate with me on my YouTube. I'm trying to figure out how I can give positivity. When I was going to therapy, they said you need 17 positive things to counteract one negative things. If your entire existence is negative, you need a shit ton of positivity to change that. When I realized, I don't know if you're on social media, but you ever scroll, like you be in a good mood or whatever, and then you start scrolling on social media and you realize like you starting to, now you irritated, I don't scroll on social media anymore. I just play games, I share juicing videos, I sing, I have this podcast. I try to share positive things. I try to share positive things, and I try to encourage people to talk about what's going on with them. I try to encourage people to find a community, find people that you feel comfortable with, that you feel will support you or got your back, people you can cry with. I never, in this last 3 years, I've met people that are just like hard, and I don't mean like gangster like hard, but I mean like, I don't cry. I don't let people see me cry. I remember when I was growing up, they was like, don't let people see you cry because they going to see that as a sign of weakness. I want you to see me cry. I want you to know that I'm human. And when I get hurt, I am hurt. I want you to know that you hurt me. So I will tell you that you hurt me. I know how to put words to my emotions. I feel like more people need to do that. More people need to say, you hurt my feelings. More people need to say that. We don't say that as much. We just count, oh, okay. Your brother or sister. Oh, okay, that's my bro, that's my sister. It's just like, it's cool. When the reality of it is no, that's not cool. People say all manner of things to us and we think that that's cool. That's not cool. That's why, for me, I had to learn and understand boundaries, and I had to set them. And I'm not going to say when I set boundaries, everybody was like, woohoo, she got boundaries. People was challenging. People was challenging those boundaries. And I was like, wait, I don't know why I thought like I would set a boundary and people would be cool with it, because people are used to you. People get used to you being a certain way. Like when you start growing and you're not hanging out or you're not doing the things that you want, people always hit you. Oh, you think you better, or oh, you can't. You too good to hang out with us. It's not that. It's just I want more out of my life. I want more out of the last 4 months and 2 weeks of this year. I want more. I want to do more. I want to be better. I want to at least, if not all three of the books, I want to at least have one book, one paperback book, and one audio book. So that's 3 books. It's gonna be 3 audio. I want to at least have one, and have the other two in the process of being done. I don't want to leave 2023 with 3 outlines. I did that before. I need to actually start doing. I need to actually start doing. I don't want to keep saying, "Yeah, I'm gonna do a YouTube. Yeah, I'm gonna start this business. Yeah, I'm." I don't want to do that anymore. That's just me. I don't want to keep saying I'm going to do something. I'm putting actions behind my words in 2023. When I say light, love, and positivity, I tell y'all I'll be meditating, and if I wake up in the morning and I don't feel that light, if I sleep on the wrong side of the bed, I will roll over and hit that snooze button and say, "We're going to try this again." Light, love, and positivity. That's all I want to be. And if I can't be that, I will just be silent. As always, that's all I got, y'all. As always, I have tips to help you or to encourage you to unlock your potential and give yourself permission. The first tip is embrace the opportunity or embrace the power of giving yourself permission. You have the ability to make decisions based on who you are, what you want, why you want it, your own thought process. You have that power. That's you. You have that. We all have the opportunity to tell ourselves yay or nay. We all have that. Embrace that. Embrace the power of giving yourself permission. Number 2, reflect on who you are, where you come from, the things you endured, and be aware. Be aware of how those things have affected you. Be aware of the processes those things have created in you. Self awareness, I guess. Be aware of those things. Number 3, release fear and judgment. So what people talk about you. You ever had a situation, I use this analogy, right? Somebody say something about you or they talk about you and you say so, and what people gonna say after that? Everybody is gonna be expecting you to like pop off or just say so, and you're gonna catch everybody off guard. Everybody. Number 3. Wait, I did number 3. Number 4, fostering yourself compassion. Fostering yourself compassion, self compassion. If you are hurt, take time to acknowledge that hurt. Go through the process of acknowledging it, how, why, feel it. And I be saying feel things because we don't allow ourselves to feel it. If something happened, we just like, okay, we on to the next. No, feel that hurt. So that in the event that you are hurt again, you don't have that same response. And I'm not saying you build up this response or, it's you understand. You will, as long as you are alive, you will be hurt. You will experience disappointment. You will become angry. Like, acknowledge those things and acknowledge the feeling so that it doesn't overtake you the next time it happens. The next one is one of my favorite ones. Set boundaries. Set boundaries. If you are somebody that like love to do for other people and you know why you do for other people, you're a people pleaser. If you are someone who can't tell people no, start saying no about the little shit. Can I use your car? No. Can you ever go out to eat with people and people be like, yeah, let's go out to eat. They make the plans to go out to eat and then they say, oh, I forgot my wallet, but they don't order the most expensive thing. No, not paying. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Hey, excuse me. I'll be right back, y'all. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'm pay for mines and leave my tip, and then I'm gonna come back and, hey, that might seem real harsh, but the reality of it is, if people are used to you doing that. No, sometimes right now people should be standing on their own 2 feet, or you should be able to sustain yourself. Yep, that's just my thoughts. And that's all I got. I hope that as you journey to go on your journey of healing and self discovery, you journey to giving yourself permission. I hope that you understand that you are the writer of your story. You write it. People can only tell what they experience, but you are the narrator of your own story. You got to let go of fear, insecurities, doubt, feelings of being judged. You gon' be judged. So let it go and just live your best life. And the journey starts with you and it ends with you. Everything that you ever wanted to do starts with you. You would probably be like, I don't have the resources to do it. You have it all on the inside of you. Everything that you need to be successful, you were born with. I know somebody is like, well, I wasn't born with money or I wasn't born. You don't need that. You just need to have confidence. You need to believe in yourself and a discipline. And you could do it. You could do it. The world is yours. The world is your oyster. The world is yours. This has been the Nurturing Conversations podcast. Today's topic was unlocking the potential, the art of giving yourself permission. It is time. 4 months, 2 weeks, give yourself permission. If you've never been single before, you always been in relationships your entire life, give yourself permission to be single. Experience life as a single person. Figure out why you always felt the need to have companionship. And I'm not knocking companionship because companionship is beautiful. What I'm saying is if you are one of those people who always felt like you needed to be around people, why? Go on the inside. These next 4 months, 2 weeks, go on the inside. Do a deep dive. Figure out those things. Pull those hurts up. Now make sure you're surrounded by people that can help you, but pull those hurts. Acknowledge them. Feel them. Feel them. I remember I used to protect myself from being disappointed by doing everything myself. And then I would get burnt out, and then I would be like, oh, I'm never doing that again. And what happened? I'll turn around and do it right again. Because I didn't feel like I could trust other people. And now I'm in a place where it's not even about trust. It's like, I don't want to do it all by myself. I'm not an island. I want other people to help me. I want other people to be around and experience. That's what I want. I want to leave a legacy of light, love, and positivity. That's what I want. So I'm giving myself permission to acknowledge. I'm giving myself permission to let go. That is the greatest one. Let go. I did a podcast episode a couple of months ago, and I was like, who would you be without your traumas? Who would you be? Like if nothing happened to you, if you didn't have anything stopping you from being great, who would you be? Would you be a doctor? Would you be a lawyer? Would you be in the NBA? Who would you be? Who would you be? You got to give yourself permission to live, not just survive. We survived. You are here. You are alive. It is time for you to give yourself permission to live. That's all I got. Remember that it is important for you to use your words. Use your words. And I say that because, again, a lot of times we be hanging out with people. We've been in a relationship with people. We've known people for a long time. They know how we are. They know who we are. They know how we are. They know what we think. But the reality of it is if you never open your mouth to say the words, they will never know. I will never let a podcast episode go out without me telling you to love yourself. Now, we love ourselves when we have the guy, the girl, the car, the job, the money, the house, the dog. We love ourselves. But at the same time, when you make a mistake, when you fail, when you do not feel your best, that is when you should give yourself the most love. Just overload yourself with love. Know yourself. We all be knowing before we before we go live or before we go out the house, we put on the fancy clothes, we put on the makeup or whatever, put the mask on. We know who we are. We know who we want to be. We always know that. It's time for you to walk in your knowing. Trust yourself. That's the hairs that stand up on the back of your neck, the goosebumps, the feeling you get in the pit of your stomach, that loud or that small voice. Trust it because it will not lead you wrong. Trust it. Most importantly, be yourself. Why? Because you need you, I need you. This great big old world needs you to be authentically you. Now, I've said this multiple times during this podcast. You have survived a global fucking pandemic. Anybody that cannot love, respect, or appreciate you for being authentically you does not deserve to be in your space. It is time that you learn to understand boundaries, set them, and stand 10 toes down on them and live. If you haven't been paying attention to the news, you most definitely should, because between aliens, fires, submarines, all the things that's going on in the world, you should definitely pay attention. And so that you and your family can be in the know, and in the event that anything happens, you'll be good. Also, along that vein, make sure that you get your toiletries, non-perishable food items, water, disinfectant, to some cash money and some coins. But if y'all been paying attention to the news, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on with the cash. Um, but you want to make sure that you got some stuff, just in case you have to barter or negotiate. Um, and if you are an adult, I say an adult because I would think the adult would only be doing this, but we all know that people, if you are engaging in adult activities, make sure that you wrap it up because the STD rates is rising. Despite us being in a pandemic, despite all the things going on in the world, the STD rates are rising, and I want you and your family to be safe. That's all I got. This has been a Nurturing Conversations podcast. Unlock your potential. Give yourself permission. That's all I got. Until next time, I love you. Peace.